The sun hung low over the sprawling estate, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns and flower beds. Inside the elegant mansion, the air was thick with tension as Mark Sullivan paced anxiously in his study. His tailored suit seemed out of place in the dimly lit room, where leather-bound books lined mahogany shelves and the faint scent of aged whiskey lingered in the air. Mark was a man of success, having built his wealth through astute investments and relentless work ethic. His wife, Sarah, shared his diligence, their lives a testament to discipline and sacrifice. They had raised 3 children, instilling in them the values of hard work and responsibility, or so they thought. The door creaked open, and in walked their eldest son, Ethan, with an air of expectation that often preceded his requests for financial assistance. Ethan, tall and confident, exuded a sense of entitlement that had grown with his years. His fiancée, Olivia, trailed behind, her eyes bright with anticipation. "Hey Dad," Ethan began, a smile stretched across his face that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Can we talk for a moment?" Mark sighed inwardly, steeling himself for what he knew was coming. "Of course, Ethan. Sit down." He gestured towards the plush armchairs by the fireplace, where Sarah sat quietly, her expression a mixture of concern and apprehension. Ethan took a seat opposite his father, Olivia perching nervously beside him. "So, Dad," Ethan started tentatively, "Olivia and I have been talking about the wedding." Mark raised an eyebrow, masking his growing irritation. "Yes, the wedding. It's a big day, no doubt. We've been planning everything," Ethan continued, "and we've come up with some ideas. It's going to be amazing, really." Sarah spoke up softly, her voice tinged with caution. "That's wonderful, dear. Have you thought about the budget?" Ethan glanced at Olivia briefly before returning his gaze to his father. "Well, that's kind of why we're here, Dad. We were hoping. We were wondering if you and Mom could help out with the costs." Mark's jaw tightened imperceptibly. "Help out," he repeated, the words tasting bitter on his tongue. "Ethan, your mother and I have supported you throughout your life. We paid for your college education, trips abroad, your extracurricular activities, everything you needed to succeed." Ethan shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "I know, Dad, and I appreciate that. But this is different. This is our wedding, our special day." Mark's voice remained calm, though the underlying frustration simmered. "Ethan, Olivia, you both have good jobs now. You're adults. It's time you started taking responsibility for your own expenses." Olivia interjected timidly, her fingers twisting in her lap. "But Mark, we've always dreamed of a grand wedding. We want it to be perfect, and we thought." "You thought we should foot the bill," Mark finished bluntly, his patience wearing thin. "I understand wanting the best, but you need to understand something too. Your mother and I have other financial commitments. Your siblings are in college, and we have plans for their futures as well." Ethan's expression hardened, a flicker of defiance in his eyes. "But Dad, we've planned everything around this. It's not fair to change things now." Mark leaned forward, his voice lowering with intensity. "You have planned everything around us paying for your wedding. Is it fair that we pay for your party? You two are getting married and marriage is about choices and responsibilities. I can't believe you're asking us to pay for this wedding. Your mother and we believed in your future. We invested in your education so you could stand on your own feet, not so you could come back asking for more to fund an extravagant wedding." Sarah spoke up softly, her voice tinged with sadness. "Ethan, your father and I have worked hard to provide for all of you. We've sacrificed a lot to ensure you had opportunities. But we also have your siblings to consider, and our own future." Ethan's fiancée, Olivia, who had been sitting quietly beside him, interjected, "But Mark, we've both graduated college now. We have good jobs. This wedding is important to us. We thought you would understand." Mark's frustration boiled over. Understand what, Olivia? That you want us to foot the bill for your party while we still have other children to support? Do you think money grows on trees? Olivia recoiled at the sharpness in Mark's tone. She glanced nervously at Ethan, who looked torn between defending his fiancée and understanding his father's point. Ethan, Mark continued, his voice softer but no less firm, you're a grown man now. It's time you started taking responsibility for your own life and decisions. Olivia too. We can't keep bailing you out every time you want something lavish. Ethan felt a pang of guilt and embarrassment. He had always relied on his parents' support, assuming it would be there whenever he needed it. Now, faced with his father's disappointment and refusal, he realized the weight of his entitlement. But Dad, Ethan began hesitantly, we thought. Mark cut him off gently but firmly. No more buts, Ethan. Your mother and I have made our decision. We won't be contributing to your wedding or any other extravagant expenses. It's time for you to stand on your own 2 feet. Tension hung heavy in the air as the family sat in silence, each lost in their thoughts. Ethan felt the weight of his father's words sinking in. He glanced at Olivia, who looked crestfallen. Finally, Sarah spoke softly, breaking the silence. Mark's right, Ethan. We love you both, but it's time to start building your own future together. Finally, Ethan spoke, his tone tinged with disappointment and wounded pride. I thought you would understand, Dad. I thought. Mark's gaze softened momentarily, a pang of paternal guilt creeping in. But he held firm, knowing this lesson was crucial. I do understand, Ethan. But you and Olivia need to understand too. We love you both, but we won't enable this sense of entitlement. With that, Mark rose from his chair, a weariness settling over him. I hope you'll reconsider, Ethan muttered, his voice tinged with resentment. Mark turned to leave, pausing at the door to look back at his son and future daughter-in-law. We won't be contributing to the wedding, Ethan. It's time for you both to start providing for yourselves. As the door closed softly behind him, Mark couldn't shake the weight of disappointment in his heart. He knew this was just the beginning of a difficult lesson, one that would test their family bonds like never before. If you found this story compelling, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more captivating tales. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments below, we'd love to hear from you.